Thought I'd talk about 5 things that I think kill summits. Running a summit can build up your email list, your authority in a space, pull 1,000 fans in to hear you launch a new offer, and generate 5 or 6 figures just from one good summit. But these are the things that I think stand between a summit host and all that good stuff. Leading into number 1, a summit is a lot of work. We build registration pages and thank you pages and a speaker info page, and there's so many email communications to go out to speakers and sponsors and attendees. You might run a recurring summit, but the dates from one year to the next are just going to change. So we build out all of this infrastructure, but in many ways, we treat summits like one and done things. That's why I think we need to build something that we can reuse over and over, leveraging the things that really do change. We do need to pencil in next year's summit date, but do we need to pencil that in on the website and in the emails and in the graphics? Or is there a way to write one thing down once and have it populate all of those things? So I think a lot of summit hosts save themselves a lot of time by coming up with all the templates with placeholders. It would just be amazing if you could get all of the key dates and deadlines, both internal ones and the ones that your speakers need to know about, into all the places that you know they're going to go. Do you want to say, welcome to the 2026 Perimenopause Summit, and then next year, say the 2027 Perimenopause Summit in your email communications and on your website without tinkering to change a few little placeholders here and there? This is where we need to think, how can I write a date down once and never again? And that date I can leverage to populate on a website, to be used as a trigger date to send an email, to show in a graphic, or to show in an email template. And likewise, how can I get all of my speaker assets, like their headshots and names and session titles, onto my website without actually going onto my website? The next killer is not being clear on all of the dates to come, the internal dates that you need to know about and the dates that speakers need to know about as well. It's really easy to set a summit start date and to know you're going to be pitching on a certain date. You know when your promo window is, that's great, but do you know when round 2 of pitching begins? When is the follow-up that you send your round 1 speakers and the deadline for them to confirm that they're in before your round 2 pitching date begins? When do you send your Form 1 is due reminder to speakers who have not submitted Form 1? This is where plotting out all of the dates you could possibly think of comes in really handy. I like to put all the dates into a date calculator, set offset dates, make sure that a suggested date is not going to land on the weekend, and think way ahead. Think all the way ahead to not just the event and the time you have to pay out an affiliate, but the time you need to check in with your speakers and affiliates maybe a month after the event has ended. Since a part of running a summit is building rapport with the people in your industry. Knowing all of these dates allows you to populate your speaker info page with all the dates that a speaker can expect, and populate your forms with the dates they could expect as well. On top of that, it allows you to use those dates as triggers to send all the emails that you possibly need to. This next killer, I think, is probably the biggest issue, but this might be an unpopular opinion, and it's giving your speakers too much homework. Your speakers are VIPs with their own brands, their own lives. We expect them to act like unpaid interns, and just listing out the things that a speaker might have to do. When they confirm they're in, they sign an agreement, and then they send in their basic intake, including their name and email and headshots and all of this stuff. And then you might ask them to send in a presentation that they have to record and edit themselves, to send that in through a Google Drive folder, and then also fill in a form to send in the session title and description tied to the video. Then you might also ask them to contribute a bonus, show up to live events, sign up as an affiliate, click into a Google document with so many swipe copy variations, and click into a Canva template to go manually put their own headshot into that template if they want to use graphics with their audience. So I believe that a lot of speakers are not promoting because they're burnt out. They had the intention to, and they're overwhelmed. There's too many links in every email. There's too many steps for them. You're asking them to context and tool switch just as much as you are. So this is where the unpopular opinion might come in, but interviewing your speakers is just the best way to reduce their homework so they don't need to record, edit, send in a session title and description. You also build rapport because you're talking to them on camera. And then when you stop recording, that's where you get to know them a little bit. I also love using fill out for any forms you have to send so that it populates the form with personal details, with the true dates and deadlines they need to know about without you having to tweak these yourself. I will pre-fill the forms for them. They can tweak them if they want, and it will update my system. And instead of asking them for another action, which is to sign up as an affiliate, I just sign them up myself, ask them for the email that they'd want to use as an affiliate. Maybe they already have a Thrivecart account, so they could put that email in here. And if they don't have a Thrivecart account, they put in whatever email they want to get paid via PayPal with. And then because I like to record sessions, they book that in the form as well. So that just makes life easier for them. You see, I'm not asking them to write their name and their email out over and over again. The form that I'm using is connected to my system to automatically update their information if they decided, actually, I want to include my middle initial or something like that. And the other thing about becoming an affiliate, I like to just click a button in my system and have Thrivecart automatically create them as an affiliate. Then I ping back the affiliate link into my system. And when the promo period comes around, I also generate square, vertical, and horizontal graphics for them with their headshots, send them swipe copy with their affiliate URL and those graphics right within one email, not with an email where I have a bunch of links and click into a Google document here and click into a Google Drive here to gather all the things. This next killer is another one of those things that is just exhausting for the host and the team running the summit. And that is not having a clear idea of all the different roles of your partners in your summit. Often you have speakers who are affiliates. You have affiliates who are not speakers. You have sponsors who are speakers, speakers giving solo talks, speakers on panels, speakers who are both doing solo talks and panels, and they all have a different journey. It's really about mapping out what happens with every person in their journey as a partner. Someone might become a speaker, they're in, you send them a form, they fill in the form. You want to send a form reminder, it's not going to go out to that person. It's going to go out to the person who hasn't filled in a form. And you want to program your system so that you just have something that triggers and sends an email to people who haven't filled out their form because you know that that's coming. This point is just about mapping out the same way you mapped out all those key dates, the journey that your different partners take, depending on their behavior and specifically what combination of roles change the way you communicate with them. The last one, it might sound dramatic, but the killer is doing everything by hand. I know you're probably not doing everything by hand, and you can reuse your templates that are stored in a Google Doc and your date calculator stored in a Google Sheet. But why not store all your email templates right within your system? And why not remove the need to replace placeholder text by having something that is programmed to fill in the blanks for you? If you know the journey everyone is taking, when an email needs to go out on a specific date, when it goes out as an autoresponder, and when you know exactly where AI can help you with your communications without losing control of the message, then you can build the system to execute on all the bazillion tasks that is summit hosting. So that's what I see are the 5 killers of summits, of the growth you expect from them, of the dream that you'll redo it next year and for years to come.